You know, the magic of a really great story, it can just take you anywhere. Ancient battlefields, the emptiness of space, all in a dark cinema.
Absolutely.
And speaking of those big screen experiences, at CinemaCon recently, two, well, legendary filmmakers gave us some hints about their next big
Right.
things.
Nolan, Spielberg. Always generates buzz.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome to DRM News Global. Today we're diving deep into Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and Steven Spielberg's, well, still untitled sci-fi project.
Yep.
We've gone through the CinemaCon reports to pull out the key details for you, our listeners, just to give you a solid idea of what's coming.
Yeah, CinemaCon always gives a good preview of what's on the horizon. And these two announcements were definitely, big ones. The scale alone is impressive, even if the stories seem quite different.
Okay, let's start with Nolan, The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Universal's distribution head, Jim Orr, he was on stage, and his enthusiasm was, well, let's just say epic. He called it a visionary, once-in-a-generation cinematic masterpiece that Homer himself quite likely be proud of. Apparently, that got a few laughs.
Well, yeah, that's laying it on thick. But, it does show massive confidence from the studio, right?
Yeah.
Especially this early, probably banking on Nolan's track record and, well, the story itself.
Good point. Makes you wonder what they've seen already.
Definitely.
And the title, The Odyssey. I mean, you can't get much more foundational than that, can you? After Oppenheimer, he's tackling this.
Huge shift.
And the cast. Wow. Or called it a staggering all-star cast. And he wasn't kidding. Matt Damon is Odysseus.
Okay, yeah.
But then you've got Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron,
Wow, okay. Keep going.
Benny Safdie, John Bernthal, Mia Goth, Elliot Page, Samantha Morton, Cosmo Jarvis, and Ryan Hurst. It's wild.
That is genuinely staggering. An incredible lineup. And it's interesting, right? We know Damon is Odysseus, but the others, their roles are still secret.
Totally. Creates a lot of speculation. Who's playing Circe? Calypso, Telemachus.
Exactly. And it just shows Nolan's pull, doesn't it? Attracting that level of talent for, potentially undefined roles initially. How's he going to reinterpret these figures?
Right. So, quick refresher for anyone who needs it. Homer's Odyssey is Odysseus's 10-year journey home after the Trojan War.
Long trip.
Oh, yeah, 10 years. And it's not smooth sailing. He runs into gods, monsters like the Cyclops, shipwrecks, divine interference all over the place.
And meanwhile, back home in Ithaca.
Right. His wife Penelope and son Telemachus are dealing with all these awful suitors trying to take over.
It's such a rich story. Themes of homecoming, loyalty, temptation, family. Nolan has a lot to work with.
For sure. And the production details sound pretty intense, too. It's still filming, described as a mythic action epic shot across the world.
Okay.
Using brand new IMAX film technology.
Ah, that's the Nolan touch. New IMAX tech.
This is huge. It's the first time Homer's epic gets the full IMAX film treatment. Can you imagine those scenes? The Cyclops, the storms on that scale.
Yeah, that's a massive draw. Nolan always pushes the theatrical experience, especially with IMAX. So applying that to this story, it signals he wants it to be a truly huge, immersive event.
More than just spectacle, right? It could really amplify the feeling of Odysseus's journey, the loneliness, the scale of his trials.
I think so, yeah.
So get your calendars ready. The Odyssey is set for July 17th, 2026.
Wow, still a ways off. Gives us time to speculate about those roles.
Plenty of time. Okay, let's pivot now. The other giant name-making news at CinemaCon, Steven Spielberg.
Right, Spielberg. Always exciting when he announces something new, especially after, the more personal Fablemans.
Yeah.
This feels like a return to big blockbuster territory.
Yeah, it does. And he's re-teaming with David Cope for the script.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park connection.
Exactly. Solid blockbuster pedigree there. It's described as a new original event film based on a story by Spielberg himself and expected to have sci-fi elements.
An original sci-fi story from Spielberg. That's significant. We've had E.T., Close Encounters, but something totally new now. What's he thinking about?
Well, Jim Orr, back on stage, called it propulsive and modern with an out-of-this-world twist.
Okay, out-of-this-world twist. That sounds very Spielberg. That blend of excitement, maybe some mystery, wonder.
Totally. It makes you think of that classic Spielberg magic, like thrills, but also that sense of awe.
Definitely. Propulsive, modern twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it clicks with his style. Makes you wonder if it connects to any current, anxieties or fascinations about what's out there.
And while maybe not quite the phone book length list Nolan has, Spielberg's cast is also seriously impressive. Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt,
Oh, nice.
Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, and Eve Hewson.
That's a fantastic group. Really strong actors. Again, speaks volumes about Spielberg that he can pull that kind of talent for an original concept we know so little about.
Absolutely. They trust his vision.
Clearly.
The release date for this one is June 12, 2026. So actually just about a month before Nolan's film.
Oh, wow. Summer 2026 is looking huge.
Seriously. But interestingly, unlike with Nolan, Universal didn't show any footage. Not even a title card or a teaser for Spielberg's movie.
Adds to the mystery, doesn't it? Could just be early days in post-production, or maybe they're playing it very close to the chest, build that hype slowly.
Could be. It definitely makes you lean in, try to guess what it might be.
For sure.
So looking at both, it's fascinating, isn't it? You have Nolan, Mr. Practical Effects and Complex Narratives, taking on this ancient foundational text with brand new tech.
Yeah.
And then Spielberg, the master of wonder and original blockbusters, creating a whole new sci-fi world.
It's a great contrast. One looking back, reinterpreting a classic with modern tools. The other forging ahead with something completely new in a genre he helped define. Kind of like two sides of the big budget coin.
And the star power for both. It's just immense. These feel less like just movies and more like, potential cultural events.
Agreed. The casts alone guarantee a certain level of attention and, frankly, quality. It shows the studios are really investing heavily in these directors and visions.
It makes you wonder, why these stories now? Maybe Nolan wants an even bigger canvas after Oppenheimer, something truly mythic.
Could be. And maybe Spielberg wants to return to that pure imaginative wonder of his earlier sci-fi, but filtered through decades more experience.
Interesting thought. Okay, so let's quickly recap for everyone listening to DRM News Global. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, mythic action epic, star-studded cast led by Matt Damon, brand new IMAX tech hitting theaters July 17th, 2026.
Got it.
And Steven Spielberg's untitled sci-fi film, original story, David Kipp script, out of this world twist. Cast includes Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt, arriving June 12th, 2026.
Two massive projects from Universal. Nolan adapting a classic, Spielberg creating something new. It really highlights the range we might see in big movies going forward.
So for you, our listener, what part of all this grabs you the most? Is it Nolan wrestling with Homer or Spielberg teasing a new mystery? What does this say about where cinema is heading? Think about it, one ancient story, one brand new one. How will they connect with us today?
Yeah, lots to chew on. It's definitely going to be a fascinating couple of years leading up to 2026.
Absolutely. And we'll be right here on DRM News Global, keeping track of it all. Absolutely. And we'll be right here on DRM News Global, keeping track of it all.